There are matches you watch because you have to. There are matches you watch because you want to. And then there are matches like this one, Liverpool 5, Tottenham 1, that you watch because you want to feel alive. This was less a football match and more a coronation. The kind of day where Anfield did not just hum, it roared itself hoarse and forgot how to breathe. Imagine knowing as a Liverpool player, as a Liverpool fan, that 1 point was enough. One measly point. And imagine instead deciding to rip the brakes off the car and drive it right through the finish line at 90 miles an hour. Because that is what this was. Tottenham showed up with a bucket of hope, dumped it on the Anfield pitch, and watched it evaporate under the sheer heat of Liverpool's momentum. It started badly. Solanke, bless him, bless his earnest little header, somehow managed to silence Anfield in the 12th minute. A corner, a simple flick, and suddenly it was Liverpool 0, Tottenham 1. You could almost hear the nation mutter under its breath. Maybe today is not the day after all. And for about 4 minutes, that thought hung in the air like a bad smell. Then Liverpool remembered who they were. Luis Diaz, on his 100th Premier League appearance, slid in like a man possessed, catching a Szoboszlai cross and banging it into the net before anyone had time to second-guess the moment. 1-1. Breath returned. Shoulders relaxed. From that point on, it was like watching a dam break. Allister picked up a loose ball after a grubby little scuffle on the edge of the box and decided, in no uncertain terms, to commit violence against it. A left-footed thunderbolt, high into the roof of the net. 2-1, Liverpool. Tottenham's resistance folded like a paper crane in the rain, and when Gakpo added a third, the sheer inevitability of it, it was no longer about winning. It was about how Liverpool would win. Whether they would strut into history or barrel into it backwards wearing a stupid grin. Spoiler, they strutted. Second half? You thought maybe Tottenham would find something, anything, to throw at them? No, they would not. Szoboszlai, twinkling through midfield like a man late for a date, teed up Salah. Salah, being Salah, cut inside like it was 2018 all over again, sent Vicario the wrong way and made it 4-1. And just to rub the salt deep, deep into the wound, Liverpool forced an own goal. Udogie, poor soul, bundling the ball into his own net with all the elegance of a falling wardrobe. 5-1. 5-1. 5-1, and it could have been 7 if Liverpool had really fancied it. If they had decided that celebrating was for cowards, the fans knew. My God, they knew. You could feel it through the screen, the mounting ecstasy, the tension snapping like a pulled muscle. This was not just 3 points. This was history, crystallizing, flash-frozen forever. Liverpool's second-ever Premier League title, their 20th domestic league win overall. The ghosts of Gerrard's slip, the long shadows of years spent chasing shadows, gone in a flash of relentless, electric, anarchic football. Anfield became a cathedral, a fortress, a dream. This, right here, is why you sit through the dull games, why you endure the 0 draws and the rainy Tuesdays, because sometimes football gives you this, an afternoon where your heart is not just beating, it is singing. The first half felt like someone cracked a bottle of pure adrenaline open over Anfield and let it seep into the bricks. It was chaos, it was poetry, it was almost hilarious in how inevitable it became after those first awkward 12 minutes. 12 minutes. That was all it took for the heartbeat of every Liverpool supporter to skip into sheer dread. Solanke rising like a salmon at a Madison corner, heading past Alisson, and it was Tottenham 1, Liverpool 0. For about 4 minutes, the whole season felt like it might crack apart at the worst possible moment. 4 minutes where the air at Anfield could have been cut with a butter knife. And then, Diaz, charging in like a man late for the last train, throwing himself at a perfect Szoboszlai pass across the box and sliding it home. 1-1. Breathing room. Oxygen returned to Merseyside. It did not stop there. In fact, it barely paused. Gravenberch was knocked to the ground and the ball squirted loose, and Allister, calm as a man flipping pancakes, absolutely laced a left-footed missile into the top corner. A goal that could have knocked Vicario's gloves clean off if he had managed to get near it. 2-1. By now, Tottenham looked less like a Premier League side and more like tourists who had stumbled onto the wrong pitch. Liverpool were ripping through them like a dog through a newspaper. You could see it. The panic, the hesitation, the hopeless glance sideways looking for help that was never coming. When Gakpo added a third, poking the ball into the corner after yet another loose Tottenham clearance, it was a mercy that halftime arrived. It was 3-1, but it could have been 6, and not a soul would have argued. Tottenham at halftime must have gathered in the dressing room like survivors after a shipwreck. What could you even say? Ange Postecoglou probably considered taking up knitting. When the second half began, there was the tiniest, most pathetic whisper of a chance. Maybe Tottenham could score early. Maybe the story could twist one more time. Liverpool laughed in their faces. Szoboszlai, who played this match like a man possessed by the ghost of every great Liverpool midfielder, rolled into one, charged through midfield and dropped a pass off to Salah. And Salah, who has made cutting inside from the right wing into an art form somewhere between calligraphy and assault, bent a shot inside the near post like he was swatting away a fly. 4-1. Tottenham's spine shattered into 17 useless pieces. And just when you thought it could not get any worse. Or better, depending on your allegiances. Alexander-Arnold whipped across, low across goal, and Udogie, poor lad, smashed it into his own net like he had a Liverpool tattoo under his shirt he was desperate to show off. 5-1. And still Liverpool attacked. Still they pushed forward, still they hunted goals like they were not satisfied with a 20-point lead and a shiny new trophy waiting for them. There was a moment, one moment, when Robertson sprinted after a loose ball at 90 minutes like it was minute 1. That told you everything. This was a team drunk on the moment, drunk on their own power, chasing perfection not because they had to, but because they could. The second half could have been a funeral march for Tottenham. Instead, Liverpool made it a parade. Anfield stayed standing until the end, and why not? If you are going to party, you might as well do it properly. First half nerves. Second half domination. 96 minutes of unforgettable football. Let us start with Liverpool, because how could we not? This was not a team playing a match. This was a team unleashing a statement written in steel and blood and noise. A team that knew the finish line was just ahead, and rather than jogging across it with a polite little wave, they tore it up with a 5-goal stampede that screamed, "We are not just champions. We are conquerors." Slot's Liverpool today looked like the finished sculpture, after a season of furious chiseling. Every mistake had been shaved off, every doubt had been hammered out. You could see the design in every pass, the confidence in every sprint, the absolute lack of mercy in every tackle. And they did it all without even pretending to sit back and protect the lead. That is the most terrifying part. 3-1 up, 4-1 up, 5-1 up. No sitting deep, no half-hearted passing triangles to kill time. They hunted a 6th goal like a team chasing a deficit. The appetite, the ruthlessness was different. And Tottenham? Oh, Tottenham. If Liverpool were a lion running at full speed, Tottenham were the deer that looked up from the grass a second too late. There was something almost tragic about them. They tried. In the way a paper boat tries to survive a hurricane. Solanke's opener was a tiny spark in a long, dark tunnel. But it burned out quicker than a wet matchstick. The plan, whatever it was, collapsed the minute Liverpool found their groove. Maddison was supposed to pull the strings. He ended up tangled in them. Tell, Johnson, Bergvall, it all felt so frantic, so desperate. No link, no rhythm. Tottenham came to Anfield hoping for survival, maybe for some vague tactical masterstroke. Instead, they came face to face with inevitability. It was not even like Liverpool needed Tottenham to be bad to destroy them. Tottenham could have played their best game of the season and still been torn apart. That is the cruel truth. Liverpool's best was just that much better. You could see the cracks widening in real time. The defenders, Udogie and Davies and Danso, looked like they had been given a crash course on defending at kickoff. Spence tried to play brave, but spent most of his time being dribbled past like he was a cone at a summer football camp. Even Vicario, who can usually be relied upon to keep Tottenham from falling face-first into the mud, looked like he was clinging to a broken umbrella in a hurricane. The saves he did make felt desperate. The ones he did not? Well, there were 5 of them, and none of them were remotely surprising. And look, Tottenham had other priorities. The Europa League semi-final loomed large. That much was clear in the 8 changes Postecoglou made before the match. But if you step onto a pitch at Anfield and act like you are half a mind elsewhere, you are going to get eaten alive. Tottenham did. Liverpool did the eating. There is a bigger question here, too. Tottenham are safe from relegation, mathematically. Congratulations, I guess. But if you are a Spurs fan, what does this season even mean to you anymore? Drifting in 16th, caught between nothingness and embarrassment, with a European semi-final your only chance to wash off the stink of a miserable league campaign? That is the bigger tragedy. Not just losing 5-1, but losing purpose. Meanwhile, Liverpool have purpose coming out of their ears. Today was the culmination of every ugly win, every desperate comeback, every stubborn inch clawed back over the course of a brutal, beautiful season. When you put these two teams side by side today, it did not feel like a meeting of equals. It felt like watching a steamroller meet a bicycle. If you ever needed a reminder that football is played by human beings with hearts and instincts and flaws, not robots programmed to ping passes at 94% efficiency, today gave you a gallery full of portraits. Start with Szoboszlai. If Liverpool had a heart today, it was him. He did not just play midfield, he possessed midfield. At times it looked like he was conducting an orchestra only he could hear. Bursts of acceleration, impossible passes, the perfect weight on every ball like he was measuring it with invisible scales. 2 assists, yes, but it was the feeling he brought, confidence without arrogance, swagger without clown shoes. And Mohamed Salah? What can you even say at this point? How many times have we seen him cut inside, like a magician performing the same trick he knows will still get the crowd gasping? Tottenham knew it was coming. You, me, the postman down the street, everyone knew. And yet there it was again. Salah cuts inside, left foot, near post, goal. Simple, brutal, inevitable. Like the tide coming in or taxes being due. 17 goals against Tottenham now. If he ever needs a job reference, he could list Spurs under previous employers. Luis Diaz deserves his own mural after today. On his 100th Premier League appearance for Liverpool, no less. The way he launched himself at that Szoboszlai pass to level the match, it was not a finish, it was a declaration. It said, you thought you could make this difficult? You thought? Alexis Allister. Sweet, sweet Alexis. That left-footed pile driver was less a shot and more a middle finger aimed squarely at doubt itself. He played like a man who had decided he was tired of being referred to as technically solid and wanted instead to be remembered as a killer. Gakpo. Oh, Gakpo. There are goals that matter for points, and then there are goals that matter for the soul. His goal, dragging the ball across his body, digging it out low into the corner, was a little grimy, a little desperate, a lot brilliant. His yellow card for shirt removal during the celebration? Perfect. A necessary crime. And defensively, Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate treated Tottenham's attackers like minor inconveniences. Like traffic cones somebody left on the motorway. Solanke got his goal, sure, but after that, nothing. Long balls lumped forward were swallowed up without so much as a polite burp. Konate even managed to rescue Liverpool during that desperate sliding block against Tell, a pure instinctive move full of brawn and bravery. Trent Alexander-Arnold was busy being Trent Alexander-Arnold, pinging absurd passes, occasionally defending like he forgot where he was, and still somehow ending the game as one of the most dangerous players on the pitch. His backheel that led to the own goal? Disrespectful. Delicious. Then there was Alisson, Liverpool's goalkeeper, who spent long periods looking like a man who had mistakenly wandered into a match he was not needed for. He could have done the crossword back there. Solanke's header gave him no chance. After that, Tottenham barely made him break a sweat. On Tottenham's side, there is not much you can say without sounding cruel. Poor Udogie looked like he was playing every position at once, badly. Vicario, heroic as he often is, was abandoned by the collapsing structure in front of him. Maddison tried to pull strings, but mostly ended up tangled in them. Solanke got his goal and then turned into a ghost. Kulusevski came on and tried to wrestle the momentum, but trying to wrestle Liverpool today was like trying to wrestle a train. Richarlison managed to pick up a yellow card for pure spite in a cameo that felt more like a tantrum than a substitution. A fitting cameo for a fittingly miserable Tottenham day. In the end, though, this was not about Tottenham's failures. This was about Liverpool's triumph. They were faster, sharper, smarter, meaner when they needed to be. hungrier, always. And they were crowned, not because Tottenham laid down, but because Liverpool had already been running towards glory all season, and today they simply ran right through the final hurdle. This has been Across the Pitch. Over and out.